I guess it's I know exactly. So Amazon, I'm here to give you guys a movie review, which is Rocky 1 and 2. I figured I just might just do both of them all at once because they're basically are part one and part two and stuff like that in the arc of Rocky versus Apollo. Now, I definitely want to talk about with the first film. The first film. I don't know if I'm going to ever make a second review of the part two between Rocky and Apollo. I may, maybe not. But yeah, so the first thing, I want to talk about the movie first before I go on to the second movie, if I really want to do review for the second movie. But anyways, like I said before, so this is Rocky One, which means it's part one. Like I said before, there's two parts basically between Apollo and Rocky, with basically fighting each other and stuff like that. One thing I really love about this movie, of the Rocky the first movie, it's always been Rocky's passionate, to do boxing. It's he's a poor guy. He doesn't really have really a good maintenance job that he has and stuff like that. And and just basically doing boxing just as for a living and stuff like that. Whatever how they came in place, what they win or anything like that, they get money or something like that. But basically, I would say like going into the pros, that's totally a lot more different. Totally a lot more different, and it really actually is. It really actually is. You could just tell, like maybe some of these pros are like, yeah, we beat up all the rest of these other guys, but we want a chance of an opportunity of someone out there to make given a challenge, basically given a challenge to be in the ring with the Apollo and stuff like that. One thing I definitely want to say about Apollo is that this is just basically my opinion. This is my opinion. I'm not trying to criticize him or anything like that. The man has way too much pride in himself. He really, really does. Because we all know what happened to him basically in Rocky 4, which I'm not going to spoil because I haven't gotten there yet. And even though, especially Rocky 3, Apollo helped Rocky to gain back his pride, or I would say to gain back the edge that he needed and stuff like that. The edge that he needed. I really want to say that with the character of Apollo Creed. Of Apollo Creed. I mean, help Rocky, gone against him and stuff like that. I think it's really great acting. That's what I thought it really was and stuff like that. And just see Sylvester Stallone, seeing like how he was so young back then. Like, I think he was someone in his early, probably his late 20s, maybe early 30s. I'm not really so sure. I think that's when he started doing movies and stuff like that. And generally, just to be honest with you, I do love Rambo, but I prefer the Rocky films much more than the Rambo films. Even though that's just based on my opinion, because I really do think that the Rocky films are a lot more better than the Rambo films. Even though I know it's just different. I do know it's just different because I think it fits the style of Sylvester Stallone. Because I don't think you guys ever heard of this before. Because if Sylvester Stallone were to die, I would cry. I would cry because the man is just has such an impact on my life and stuff like that. Just watching these movies and stuff like that. I mean, he's one of my favorite characters and stuff like that, basically among movies and stuff like that. The man knows what he's doing and stuff like that, basically when it comes to movies and stuff like that. But even though, like I said, I still will go back to the part where I think that these Rocky films are a lot more better than Rambo. Now, some people may think the Rambo films are much better than Rocky. I disagree. That's just all I'm just saying. So I'm not trying to. I don't want people to get upset with me or anything like that. But that's just I'm just saying because I'm like when you're watching the Rambo films, you see a different kind of Sylvester Stallone basically playing those movies and stuff like that, just playing like a legendary war hero who's been in war for quite some time, and so he knows the instincts and stuff like the how to be a war hero and stuff like that, and and stuff like that. But when it comes to basically with the Rocky film, it shows a more true of a character of Rocky really actually is and stuff like that. And it's not just because like Sylvester Stallone is just actually Rocky. It's just basically it fits the whole narrative to me and what I see. Can't hear Sylvester Stallone. Now I definitely would say I don't know how in the world they made these movies because I really don't and stuff because I think it's hard to explain. It's hard to explain, but I do know that the fighting is. I think the fighting's not real, or maybe it's physical contact, which which I really don't know because I have no idea because I don't have the Blu-ray editions, based on the movies and stuff. My dad and my uncle has the original tapes of the Rocky films. I'm not joking. They're pretty hard to find. They're very, very hard to find, or you may want to look in eBay, but even though I wouldn't because it's not worth it, something like that. But I do know the VHSs are just basically probably more expensive than the Blu-ray. That's what I think. Like that. But like I said before, Rocky's just a simple guy. He just that's all it basically is. He just wants to do boxing. He just wants to have like maybe an opportunity or something like that, make it into the pros and stuff like that. But even though Rocky didn't really think that he was that kind of guy, just basically to basically just have a chance and stuff like that. Now I want to talk about Mickey. Now I'm not talking about Mickey Mouse. I'm not talking about Mickey Mouse from Disney. I'm talking about Mickey basically in this movie. Mickey to me in this movie is that. To me, I look up to this guy more than a father figure. I look up to this guy that, to me, in my own opinion, this guy is the GOAT in these movies. And that's just basically what it feels to me because Mickey and Rocky always got along with each other. Sometimes they disagree with things and stuff like that. Sometimes they do. Sometimes they really don't. That's just basically what it actually feels to me. But I really do love the aspects based on when it comes to these films between Rocky and Mickey. Mickey didn't really care about Rocky really that much. Rocky didn't care about Mickey really all that much. But even though Rocky wanted to have a chance to ask Mickey, say like, hey, can you train me to how to be a good boxer or a good fighter and stuff like that. And that's what Mickey really did because I'm like. Mickey was just basically basically saying, hey, I'm too old for this. I can't do this anymore. And so, but we know that the guy is very, very old. He really actually is because Mickey has trained all different kind of fighters, but nothing like Rocky Oswald 2, basically in his films Oswald 2. One thing I definitely want to say is Oswald 2. What I want to say Oswald 2, because I know this carries over into the second film, is that Rocky does love the money, but I don't think that the money. I don't think that he's really in for the money or anything like that. I don't think he really actually is. But I mean, it's nice to have that luxury and win a match and you get money and stuff like that and stuff. And I don't think that's not really the kind of character I really want to see in Sylvester Stallone basically in that movie by playing as Rocky and they say like hey, I want to win. Hey, maybe I should compete in a boxing match and maybe I should get $1 million. I mean. Yes, it's nice to have the money. Yes, it's very, very nice to have the money, but it's just that's just kind of the betrayal because for what I see basically in this film, like just looking like a Sylvester Stallone and stuff like that, and just basically, I think Sylvester Stallone put a lot of hard work basically in this movie. I don't know if he's really the director of these films. I don't think he's not. I think he's partial of that because I think. That Sylvester Stallone, wanted to create something more legendary, something more appealing than the Rambo films. That's what I definitely do think and stuff like that. I know there's much more films out there that really do follow the same path as Rocky Oswald too, because I've heard, Rocky did help some other people's out, especially Creed's son, which I definitely do think so because I haven't seen those movies yet. I have not. I have to go and watch them. Now, one thing I definitely do want to mention is that when it comes to boxing matches and stuff like that, that's really very, very tough. That's really very, very tough. For one, you have to be physical. You have to be very, very physical to fit in. I think you have to enter like a certain weight or something like that because they won't let you in or something like that. You have to have like a certain weight. So like that. I think that's kind of like what UFC does or something like that. That's basically what I think. I may not know what I'm talking about, but even though that's just basically my opinion. And so give me a second. Hold on a second, guys. Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, so but even though that's just basically what it feels to me. But you have to be in tip-top shape and stuff like that, and you really do. And one thing I definitely want to say, I don't think that these fights really shows the what happened to her eyes and stuff like that, because I do know though that's just basically the makeup right there on their eyes. That's basically what it feels to me, stuff like that. And that's basically what I think. I don't know if that really does happen to other different players, other different boxers or something, or maybe not. I don't know. That's basically what it feels to me. But even though even though I love this, I love these films from Rocky. I love these films from Sylvester Stallone. I think they really are very, very good, and I just really do think so. And just basically, basically the second movie, it's just the second movie. I wish they put more focus on Apollo. I really wish they did. But one thing Apollo didn't like is that basically at the end, of the Rocky first film, the Rocky of the first film, Apollo got very upset because he's saying, I didn't get treated fairly or anything like that and stuff like that. And so some people may say like, oh yeah, he's a crybaby, but he's not really. He's really not. I mean, Apollo is really basically is a guy. I mean, he looks a lot more buff than Rocky is, and that's what basically feels. That's basically what it feels to me. You could just tell Apollo would not accept defeat or anything like that, or have a draw, or have a basically something. But even though Rocky says he wants to be retired because it means that he doesn't want to box anymore, because he doesn't want to put his life at risk, because he doesn't want people to think like, oh, he's going blind and stuff like that, because with so many of those hits and stuff like that. But with some of those hits and stuff like that get hit in the face and stuff, yes, that could lead into a concussion. I may be wrong about that. That's just my opinion. That's basically what I definitely would think. And that's basically what it basically feels to me. One thing I also want to mention also too is that I think that I'm not the biggest fan of YouTube boxing and stuff like that. I'm not the biggest fan of those. I seen one of them before. It just didn't really interest me really all that much. I'm not saying they're bad or anything like that. I know those are totally a lot more different than the pro boxing and stuff like that. But that's just basically what it feels. That's just basically what it feels to me. But even though I definitely would, I would definitely say that I love these movies. Sylvester Stallone, they're really good. They're really personally one of my favorites. Basically going on, especially episode 4. I'm not episode 4, but Rocky 4. Rocky 4 is one of my most favorite films of all. One of my most favorites. And I love that film. But yeah, anyway, so that's it for Rocky 1 and 2 movie review. Do you guys agree? Do you guys don't agree? I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. And so yeah, anyway, so something like this. I'll see you guys later. Take care. I hope you have a wonderful day. Don't forget to subscribe. Please consider subscribing. Please hit the like button, give me a thumbs up, and please hit the notification bell as well too, so let me know you guys watch my videos, and please leave your comments below. Anyways, I love you guys. Take care. Hope you have a wonderful day. Take care. God bless. Remember, I love you guys. Please stay safe and stay blessed. Love you guys. Take care.